The Hall Mills Murder Case, 1922, USA, a scandalous mystery. It was a crisp September morning in 1922 when a couple, out for a walk near an abandoned farm in New Jersey, stumbled upon a gruesome scene. The bodies of a man and a woman lay beneath a crabapple tree, posed as if in some twisted, tragic tableau. The man had been shot once in the head. The woman, her throat slit, her tongue nearly severed. Torn love letters, scattered like fallen leaves, surrounded their lifeless forms. And a single clue, a calling card of sorts, was left behind, a trail of ripped paper and romantic betrayal. This was no ordinary crime. It was the scandal that shook 1920s America. The murder of Reverend Edward Hall and Eleanor Mills was more than just a case of passion and violence. It was a tale of secrets, deceit, and a trial that captivated the nation. Who killed them? And why, over a century later, do their ghosts still haunt the pages of true crime history? This is Real Unsolved Crimes, and I'm Ryan, unraveling the mysteries time refused to forget. The murder scene. The morning of September 16, 1922, was like any other in the quiet town of New Brunswick, New Jersey. But that peace shattered when a pair of passers-by found two lifeless bodies sprawled beneath a gnarled crabapple tree. Reverend Edward Hall, a respected clergyman, and Eleanor Mills, a beautiful but married choir singer, were dead. But this was no simple crime. Eleanor's throat had been viciously slashed, her tongue nearly cut out, a gruesome punishment, perhaps, for a woman who had spoken too freely about her love for the married minister. The Reverend, lying beside her, bore a single gunshot wound to his head. A telling contrast, one execution, one slaughter. Their bodies were staged, as if in a dark parody of a lover's embrace. And then there were the love letters, intimate, passionate, damning, scattered deliberately around them. Someone wanted the world to know what this was about. Adultery, betrayal, and vengeance. The secret affair. To understand this murder, we must first understand the affair. Reverend Edward Hall was no ordinary man of the cloth. He was charming, persuasive, and deeply connected to high society. His sermons captivated the congregation, but so did his wandering heart. Eleanor Mills was a striking woman with an expressive face and a passion for music. She had a husband at home, but her heart belonged to another, the Reverend. The two were infatuated. They exchanged passionate letters, stolen glances, and whispers in the shadowed corners of the church. Their affair was an open secret, one that many whispered about, but few dared to confront. Until one fateful night, when someone, perhaps someone close to them, decided that enough was enough. The prime suspects. Who would kill two lovers in such a theatrical display of rage? The answer seemed obvious to many: the Reverend's wife, Frances Hall. Frances was a woman of power and privilege. Elegant, refined, and deeply religious, she was the perfect picture of the devoted wife, until the whispers of her husband's infidelity became too loud to ignore. Some say Frances discovered the affair and sought revenge. Others claim she had helped her two powerful brothers, William and Henry Stevens, men with influence, men who knew how to make problems disappear. The theory? The Hall family lured Edward and Eleanor to the secluded orchard, confronted them, and carried out their own brand of justice. But there was no proof. No murder weapon. No witness brave enough to come forward. And then, just as the case seemed to be slipping into history, a witness emerged. The trial of the century. For years after the murders, a woman named Jane Gibson, a pig farmer, came forward with a stunning claim. She said she saw it all, that on the night of the murders, she heard voices in the orchard, saw shadows moving, and then gunfire. She described a woman's shriek, a man's groan, and figures fleeing into the darkness. Her testimony led to a sensational trial in 1926. The accused? Frances Hall and her two brothers. The courtroom was a spectacle. Newspapers splashed the scandalous details across their front pages, society women whispered from the pews, and Frances sat, composed and dignified, as the world scrutinized her every move. But then, something shocking happened. Despite Jane Gibson's testimony, despite the damning love letters, despite the rumors, the jury found Frances Hall and her brothers not guilty. Just like that, they walked free. And the case, once burning with scandal, began to fade. The unsolved ending. Over a century has passed since the Hall Mills murders, yet the truth remains buried beneath time and secrets. Was Frances Hall truly innocent? Or did her wealth and influence protect her from justice? And if she didn't do it, then who did? The answers lie somewhere between scandal and silence. The ghosts of Reverend Edward Hall and Eleanor Mills still whisper in the autumn wind, forever entwined in a murder mystery that refuses to be forgotten. And so, the question lingers in the shadows of New Brunswick. Who really killed the lovers beneath the crabapple tree? Thank you for joining us on this journey into the unknown. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow Real Unsolved Crimes for more haunting mysteries and untold stories. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your mind sharper.